The worst maritime disaster in history is one you may have never heard of. This is the story of wartime excitement and tragedy. All things had to go wrong, and all things did. This is the devastating true story of the MV Wilhelm Gustloff. The Wilhelm Gustloff began life in 1936 when her keel was laid down at the Blumenvoss shipyard, the creators of other very famous German liners. Following her launching on the 5th of May 1937, she was fitted out with the most modern German amenities. She was designed to provide many leisurely activities to her passengers, but unlike other ships, you were required to be invited to get on board. The Gustloff was originally called the MV Adolf Hitler, but Hitler himself decided to instead name the ship Wilhelm Gustloff, after a Third Reich leader assassinated by a Jewish medical student in 1936. Propaganda would be the theme of this ship's career. Her maiden voyage in 1938 was focused towards Austrians and getting them to vote for the annexation of their country to Germany. Also in 1938, the Gustloff rescued all 19 men from a sinking coal freighter in heavy seas. During 1939, Wilhelm Gustloff temporarily became a hospital ship before being repainted and laid up over the next 4 years. During that time, the Gustloff also served as a floating barracks for U-boat trainees. The vessel was put into operation again for Operation Hannibal, which sought to evacuate thousands of people from Prussia, Courland Pocket, and Pomerania from mid-January to May 1945. For this operation, the Gustloff loaded over 6,000 registered passengers on board, but there were up to 5,000 more that were not registered. Everybody from civilians to Nazi officials boarded the Gustloff, all hoping for salvation. Since now the Gustloff carried up to 10,000 passengers and crew, many were forced to sleep on deck. Some passengers chose to wear their life vests out of precaution as the voyage was very hazardous. Wilhelm Gustloff departed Gotenhaven at 12:30 p.m. on the 30th of January 1945, followed by 2 torpedo boats and another transport. One of the defense boats suffered mechanical problems, leaving the 2 larger transports with only 1 defender. During this voyage, the Gustloff would have 4 captains. One was the official captain of the ship, and there were 2 from the Merchant Marine and another from U-boat service. This would lead to many arguments over things such as how to defend their ship from Soviet submarines or whether to turn navigation lights on. The U-boat commander insisted that it was best to keep the Gustloff in shallower water and close to shore without lights. The Gustloff's official commander instead decided to turn the ship into deeper water. The navigation lights were also switched on to prevent a collision with a possible minesweeper convoy that was heading in their direction. Another blow to the Gustloff's safety was from the fact that she was not marked as a hospital ship or civilian ship. The Gustloff was armed and was transporting military personnel, which made her unable to be marked as civilian. Furthermore, the submarine sensors on the last torpedo boat had frozen, rendering it inoperable. Unbeknownst to anybody on all 3 ships, a Soviet submarine was trailing behind, waiting for the perfect chance to strike. This chance would come at around 9 p.m. on January 30th, 1945. The Soviet sub S-13 fired 3 torpedoes bound for the Gustloff. One struck the bow, which caused watertight doors to be closed before men could escape. The next struck the Women's Naval Auxiliary, located in the ship's empty swimming pool. The blast shot ceramic tiles off the walls like bullets, killing hundreds. Only 3 of the 373 people in this area survived. The final torpedo struck amidship at the engine room, which disabled the ship and its electricity. All the detonations occurred on the port side. After the initial blast, hundreds more lined the decks of the ship, waiting a valuable spot in one of the Gustloff's boats. Unfortunately, the chilled weather had frozen most of the boats to their davits. Only 9 were usable. Furthermore, disaster came with the Wilhelm Gustloff's infamous listing. Due to the 3 gaping holes all in the port side, the hull was flooding unevenly. Disastrous listing to port rendered all starboard boats useless. Many people had to resort to the freezing water, which sat at a chilling 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius. Over the course of the 40 minutes leading up to the sinking, hundreds were killed by the cold, the inrushing water, or stampedes of fleeing people. Soon the end came. The lifeless corpse of the Wilhelm Gustloff rolled over onto her side. Metal creaking, she slipped under the waves, leaving thousands to the mercy of the water. Fortunately, a distress signal was sent among the panicked moments on the Gustloff. German minesweepers, freighters, torpedo boats, patrol boats, and more arrived on the wreck site. 1,252 people were saved among the many ships. 13 later succumbed to their injuries. Strangely, though, all 4 captains survived. One, Lieutenant Commander Zahn, never received responsibility as Nazi Germany collapsed before the case could be resolved. After sinking the Wilhelm Gustloff, S-13 continued on patrol, sinking another ship, General von Steuben, killing a further 4,500. Captain Marinesco of the submarine was awarded the Order of the Red Banner for destroying the Gustloff and 9,343 lives, plus an additional 4,500, for a combined total of 13,843 estimated killed over the 2 wrecks. The wreck of the MV Wilhelm Gustloff was known since the sinking, but it wasn't revisited until the 1960s, coincidentally by Soviet divers. Since 1945, when the Wilhelm Gustloff was sunk, her wreck has collapsed in the middle and is in very bad condition. Many things from the wreck have been taken by salvors, such as the bells, portholes, and other artifacts, which many believed has tarnished the largest maritime grave in history. The Wilhelm Gustloff was a ship built for leisure, but was taken over by an evil power. This power, the Nazi regime, pushed it for propaganda and was used to transport thousands of civilians, using the innocent as a shield for their leaders. The ship was operated by 4 disagreeing men who unknowingly or possibly knowingly put their unprotected ship in danger. The decisions made that night would change or destroy the lives of over 9,000 people. The single worst maritime disaster, a disaster that could have been avoided, but it wasn't.